Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new, my name is Sandra. I am an interior designer here in Chicago, Illinois. I have my own interior design business and I just show you the ins and outs of what it's like to run an interior design firm here in Chicago, what the life is like as a designer, and I also like to share my knowledge and tips and tricks about the industry and what I learned. So in this video, we're going to talk about lighting. So last month I went to a smart lighting summit hosted by Lightology. It was held downtown in their showroom in Chicago. This was actually my first time going to the showroom downtown, and it was like pretty big. When I got there, I took a nice tour of the space. I actually got to meet the founder and owner, Greg K. Super down-to-earth kind of guy. He was obviously very knowledgeable in lighting.
But when you're dimming in the home, you don't want this. You will hate, your customers will hate you, okay? And they'll be irritable. All right.
Nonetheless, yeah, as I was touring, I went to the second floor, which they had like this really cool lighting room, and it was like a little bit of a display, more of a show, and showing like the different lighting effects. One of the guys showed me that, which was really nice to experience and see the different ways that lighting can really affect a space.
Using light, provide atmosphere, stimulate emotion, highlight key features, or transform a space to fit your mood. You can use light to direct focus. Use color and contrast to create visual interest. With the introduction of Pure Lighting Aurora RGB, you can direct crisp, white light on your art, while adding a dynamic glow of color in the space. Ask your Lightology lighting consultant about how you can use some of these design techniques to turn your space into something extraordinary.
After that, I went to the third floor, which is where the summit was taking place, and they had this nice little breakfast area for us to kind of like snack on before the summit started. But in this summit, they were offering 5 classes. You didn't have to do all 5 classes. I did it because why not? You know, and I wanted to stay there to learn more. And they were also free, which was really nice, and they just kind of kept us pampered with all the food and drinks. But the 5 classes that were being offered were low voltage lighting system design basics, shades and smart controls, demystifying color in architectural lighting, mesh Wi-Fi system, and smart lighting strategies for builders, designers, and integrators. So I'm just going to share the main takeaways and kind of summarize how this event went. So the first thing is layered lighting. If you guys don't know what that is, it's using a mixture of lighting elements to create a more balanced and appealing environment. Typically with layered lighting, it has 3 elements. The first one is ambient lighting, task lighting, and accent lighting. To break it down even more, ambient lighting is more of like your general fixtures. It's, you know, your ceiling fixtures, any chandeliers, wall sconces. Task lighting, this one emphasizes and focuses on where specific tasks need to be done, like reading, cooking, working, and this also kind of includes table lamps, under the cabinet lighting, and pendant lights.
Also, the use of indirect lighting over that island I think is nice, that they're doing this cove to create this soft ambient general lighting, you know, creating multiple layers. The use of linear, low voltage tape light in the lower cabinets is really creative. We're seeing more and more uses of the small, low voltage nature of this of low voltage linear lighting in tucking it into places where otherwise wouldn't be possible with conventional light sources.
So it's good to know what the tasks are in the room before sourcing the specific task. And then accent lighting, as you guys can tell from the name, this one highlights specific key elements like any architectural details of the home or any artwork, and this is usually like track lighting, spotlights, or any decorative light fixtures. So using this approach can really amplify the ambiance, give it some depth, and make the room feel much more visually appealing and interesting. And I'm going to share some pictures that were shared in the summit. These were not mine, FYI. I do not take credit of this. This was from the speaker that was giving the presentation. So I do want to add that these classes really made me think more about lighting and how to be more intentional about it. You know, the saying is lighting is the jewelry of design. And I don't know why, but for me, before the summit, of course, sourcing light was not fun for me. I'm sure other designers really enjoy sourcing light fixtures, but to me, I just kind of found it like a chore. I don't know, I was not excited about lighting, but this summit really made me think to be more intentional, and that sourcing light fixtures definitely needs to be more thought out. But yeah, so that's just kind of like the sense that I felt after learning about layered lighting. Next, let's talk about light, color, temperature. So before the summit, I always felt like when you are sourcing light bulbs, they all have to match. So when I had a design and I had all these different light fixtures, all the light bulbs that I was sourcing, I was doing research and calculations and making sure that they were all the same color temperature. But in this summit, I realized that they don't always have to match, which kind of blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, it's okay if they don't match? What? So having different light temperatures can actually help differentiate between tasks. So the lighting over the island, like having pendant lighting, can be different than the lighting in the cabinets, or if there's like a little table lamp in the kitchen. Those can all be different. And it's okay, because this also helps create a very beautiful contrast between lighting. And as designers, we're always trying to create like beautiful scenes of contrast. That also goes hand in hand with lighting. So that's another thing that was like, oh my gosh, it's totally okay. I don't have to spend countless hours or research trying to find light bulbs that match. So yeah, it's important that they all, have a little bit of a variation.
Conventional, architectural, residential space, how is this used in practice? Remember, color doesn't have to mean high drama, right? There can be subtle ways you can use color in a really effective, creative way. Contrast, we talked about in the basic lighting design approach of a 3:1 contrast ratio. Remember we talked about art accent lighting, where we want the painting on the wall to have some contrast from the surrounding area, so we can actually highlight the painting. We can now create contrast not just with brightness, but we can also create contrast with color.
Now, since this was a smart lighting summit, they did talk about ways on how to make lighting more of like a smart technology. And that could be achieved by installing dimmers, using smart light bulbs, using voice technology. And then the last thing was utilizing smart controls, like being able to control the lighting with your phone, which I'm sure we've all kind of done that now. But those are the main key things I wanted to share with you guys. Since the summit, I've been more conscious about lighting. It was a really great refresher to be more positively impacted on lighting and be more excited about it. And I felt like the other thing that came to my mind was, when it comes to designing, I felt like I was always designing in daytime mode. I was never really thinking about the nighttime mode. So now when I'm designing a space, I'm thinking daytime and nighttime. Like, how can we make this room feel really cool at night? How can we really bring that moody ambiance at night? But yeah, those were the main key takeaways. After the summit, they did have their happy hour networking, which was held at the roof. It was really beautiful in there. So I took some time to kind of tour around and then chit chat with some people. And after that, I pretty much went home. But that is it for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you learned something, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to keep seeing more, subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.